All right, we're going on to new business course fees, first read.
Okay, Kristen.
So on page 195, you'll see our proposed course fees for the 2015-16 school year. Some of the increases are due to the AP test fee being increased from $91 to $93 for next year. So all of the AP courses, you'll see that their fees are a little higher, but that does include the test fee that's associated with the AP test.
Kristen, touch on that real quick. Why do we, that's an initiative we've been doing for a while. We put the test fee right on there, so that it encourages students and parents. If you sign up for an AP course, you take the test.
Correct. If for some reason a student doesn't take the test, obviously their money is refunded, but that's an effort to encourage students to sit for the test and not just enroll in the course. Some of the other increases, as you'll see, is sales tax, and I know there was a question about that. So when we purchase the items, we are not charged sales tax, but when we then sell them to the students, we have to charge them sales tax. And so not all of that was accounted for last year. And
So it's not an increase in like tax. I forgot what you paid. It's the
No,
overall tax you have to pay. on the
yeah,
board.
last year was the first year we had been purchasing those materials.
And we had Tim
hadn't
call the
accounted for
auditor
it.
again this year to see if they're strictly just reimbursing us for a large purchase, if there was a way to just do a cost per item and no sales tax, and we were told no, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're buying something to resell. When we sell it, we have to charge and pay sales tax to the state.
So, and then as outlined in the memo, the other reason you see more courses with a course fee is because those courses were bringing students down to the bookstore in that first week or two of school. So this is an effort to have all of the fees included so that a parent isn't asked 2 weeks later to pay $15 for goggles or something, or a workbook or something along those lines. There's also a question about the fees for PE classes. And there's a fee typically associated with the class to help maintain the equipment. And so there isn't one for mind and body because they don't really use equipment other than the mats in the gymnastics room. And then the last question was about the grant money to cover the courses in the Applied Arts Department. And every year the Applied Arts Department receives a Carl Perkins Career and Technical Ed grant. And they use that money to cover the cost of any workbooks or textbooks that they're
Well, I
using.
appreciate we explained it, and I've pushed Kevin on this many times. We get a grant. Why do we decide to use it for that? I mean, why can't we use it for other purposes? I mean, why do we decide to use the grant for certain students not to pay a book fee versus, just throwing it in the general fund for whatever
Well, you
else
can't
we
do
need?
that. The Carl Perkins grant and the CT&E grant have to be specifically spent on career and technical education and stuff related to applied arts. So we've already updated all those CAD labs. We've already updated the kitchen areas. So it can only be applied to those applied arts areas and career and technical
Well, okay, but
education.
using the example you just gave, again, I'm just having a discussion, because every time a grant comes up, it's like mysterious. We got a grant, we used it for this purpose. Maybe somebody wants to buy a new computer, AutoCAD computer, for whatever, instead of giving a waiver for book fees.
Right, so those.
That's what I'm trying, I mean,
That
it
is all
seems-
done, like, so the instructional coach works with the building administration and identifies any and all needs that apply to applied and technical arts.
Okay.
And then that's how it's determined how the grant is spent. So examples that you just gave, like trying to put some Chromebooks into that classroom or trying to buy new CAD, we're in good shape.
Oh, okay.
So that we're at a
So
point
you've
now.
considered all the alternatives,
Right.
and this was the final best use
Sure.
of the fees for that?
Because I'll ask, is there a way that we can do a lab and maybe there's applied art class in there 2 periods a day and then the rest of the school can use that? You have to be careful on some of that. And that's what we belong to, that Des Plaines Valley Regional, the DVR.
Uh-huh.
I know you've heard me reference that a few times. So there's an administrator there that all of Oak Park, Leiden, Elmwood Park, RB, Ridgewood, Proviso, and Triton College, we belong to the DVR. She manages all of our grant and Perkins funding. So then, once I approve it, then there has to go to another level at this, at the cohort where she then reviews it and makes sure it's being used for the appropriate uses and signs off on it before we can actually receive those resources.
Thank you, I appreciate the explanation.
Any other questions on course fees? All right, so this is our first read. We're going to vote on it when?
Cow.
Cal? Okay.
Kristen, you need this voted on by the cow so that it could be approved, it could be in the November course guide that goes out to parents, correct?
Correct.
Can we vote on it now if you want us to?
Do you think there's any,
Any chance for a change between now and 2 weeks?
I do
Would it
not.
be helpful for you if you knew today versus 2 weeks from now?
Yes.
So, why don't you write up a vote, write up a motion right now?
I have to find
I think there's one on the bottom of the
There's a,
general one.
Where's it at?
Is there one on there, Mary Ann? Is there an action sheet? There's not.
No, there's not.
Let me just find one I could do it. Give me a page, Mike, where there's a resolution.
what?
Tell me a page where one of the resolutions you read on.
Why don't you go to 348, the architect contract?
Okay.
187 was Press Plus. 13 or 14 was consent agenda.
And it's a schedule of what we call student fees.
Course fees for 2015-16.
Resolved that the Board of Education Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves the course fees for the 2015-16 school year as presented in the October 14, 2014 Board Agenda Packet.
Do we have a second? Second by Ed Jepson. Mary Ann?
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska? Yes. Mr. Siddiqui?
Yes.